We have a little time here before Ted Ginn Jr. joins us. We're going to finagle the rundown a little bit.
Let's
we'll
finagle.
Something for the end,
Mike. Do some finagling.
It is time for number 3 in our 32 in 32 series, and that is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski.
Where was
behind
the
the glass
coordinator?
crew. What'd you say?
Where was the defensive coordinator?
4th.
He was 4th.
He was 4th. He was our last one on Friday. Today, on Tuesday,
You
we
just
have
did him
Kevin
on Friday,
Stefanski
apparently.
as number 3. Bull, where did you have Kevin Stefanski on your list, and do you think that is too high for the head coach?
I had Kevin Stefanski. Let's see.
Well, while he's looking, no, it's not too high.
I had him 7.
You had him 7.
Yeah.
That's low.
I am all about players being more important than coaches.
Okay, but how about the guy calling the plays?
I think, when I make a list, okay, I think who's more easily replaceable? A coach?
That's fair. That's fair.
Or a great player. And I think it's the coach, unless it's the 2 or 3 special coaches on the top, which Kevin Stefanski is not one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's 5 special coaches. Whatever it is, Kevin Stefanski is a good, solid coach. I think he's pretty good, but he's not in that special category.
Yeah.
Maybe Jim Schwartz is as defensive coordinator. He might be in the special category. So maybe he's a little harder to replace. But Kevin Stefanski is a head coach. Like him. He's important. I think he's good. I think I would definitely put him in the, I don't know about definitely. I don't know if that's fair, but I would put him, in the high middle probably. But he's not Andy Reid. He's not Bill Belichick. So he's not, and even Bill Belichick. What's he been since Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Mediocre.
Well, here's why I like him at
Yeah.
3, because he is who's here. And unless he gets run over on the sideline and gets concussed, he's the play caller.
Yeah.
And he's the one that has spent the entire offseason with Deshaun Watson redoing the entire playbook.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think it's perfect at number 3. I think it's exactly where he belongs, because this team's going to go on the plays that Kevin calls and that Deshaun runs. And one of the reasons I've been such a defender of him is because there's dudes open all over the field. He has done his job. They just haven't had a quarterback who could get the ball to the places it needs to go. Now they have that, allegedly. We'll find out for sure starting on Sunday, but theoretically they should have that guy now who can make every throw, who can make every play in the book. And Kevin, to me, has done his job as the offensive mastermind. And, yeah, he has nothing to do with the defense. And, fine, you can criticize him for that if you want. There are a lot of other coaches. I was talking to a guy in the league who said Kyle Shanahan doesn't even turn on the headset on the defensive side of the ball. He has nothing to do with the defensive side. That's becoming the trend with a lot of these offensive-minded play callers. So, for that reason,
I got no problem with that.
They're going to go where Kevin takes them. And I think number 3 is exactly where he belongs. He's not Deshaun.
Yeah.
He's not Miles. But, boy, in terms of importance to this season and this team, he's right there with them.
I would even have him up there. I have him at 2. You know why? Because he's next up. I've been prophesying about this for about a year. He's the next guy up, and his playbook and what he's going to do with Deshaun Watson this year is either going to make the Browns or it's going to break them. It's all about what he's going to do and how he's going to move with it. Yes, he's schemed people open before, but some of those people happen to be tight ends. Yes, he's done some decent things with quarterbacks that are marginally, better than the mean of the quarterback position in the NFL. That's cool. Now we want to see what you do with somebody that's prime time, that's somebody that has that has the arm, has the intelligence to run a different type of style playbook, where now we can run and we can get into what we would call the 21st century. We're no longer in the dark ages or the stone ages, moving the ball up the field 5 yards at a time. I want to see how he can incorporate Nick Chubb, who's still one of the best running backs, to make him an asset, not something that's just an afterthought. I want to see him scheme people open on the goal line. Not just in the middle of the field, coach. I need you to get touchdowns, not 7. Can you scheme people open in the red zone? One of the hardest things to do as a play caller in this league. There's a lot of things that I like about Kevin Stefanski, because for what it's worth, he does get the most out of guys who are medium. It is yet to be seen if he's going to get the guys at the elite performance that the Browns are going to need to compete in this AFC as well as the NFC North. So he's right up there. Everything he does is right up there with Deshaun Watson and that play sheet he got right there. That little sheet. What's on the sheet? Mm-hmm. Let's figure it out. Those are the 2 most important things. Because other than that, The Browns at every other position. We've detailed it. They got people at every position we talk about. They got guys. And so it's time to see if we got the coach.
All right. Consensus seems to be 3 is appropriate.
After hearing their retorts, Bull, do you still believe 7's the right spot?
It is for me only because of the way I've been making the list. As I said, I'm like, who's less replaceable? I mean, I'm not going to argue with you that 2 or 3 is not a reasonable answer. I just had them a little lower. I think coach's value is ultimately a little overrated if they're not a special coach. And most
I don't think that's
coaches
crazy.
aren't.
For the record, we had him at 3. I had him at 3. I think all 3 of us actually had him at 3.
Right.
I'm just curious, who did you have at 8?
At 8?
Yeah. If you're saying that players are more important than coaches and players are more, I'm just wondering.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
Dalvin Tomlinson. Okay, so Dalvin Tomlinson is easier to replace than Kevin Stefanski,
Yes.
based on your logic.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of what I went with, to
Okay.
some degree. And, some of it was positional. It's not a perfect system. I probably should have had Denzel Ward higher. I had him at 6. I probably should have him 3 or 4.
Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that obviously, his stat is still up in the air for
Yeah.
the game. But Stefanski, one last thing on Stefanski, I think G said it best there, but the ingredients are there for Stefanski. Now it's a matter of can he be the chef to turn ingredients into a 5-star Michelin dish. If he doesn't make the playoffs, though, let's say the Browns, and I know they're extenuating circumstances, 10-7, whatever, but as Ted Ginn
There's
walks in
no
here,
excuse.
we'll
The
get
Browns
him in a
have to
sec.
make the playoffs this year.
Will he
I
be
don't
the
wanna hear
coach
anything else
next year?
about it.
Yes or no? While we bring in our
We
next
got Ted
guest.
Ginn Jr. here.
If they do not make the playoffs,
Would they what?
can Kevin Stefanski keep his job if
Probably
the Browns don't
not.
make the playoffs?
If they don't make the playoffs, Kevin Stefanski's probably getting fired. Now, they go 10-7 and lose
That's
on
what
a
I'm
tiebreaker.
saying. Like, there's a lot of gray area in this.
I think if they went 10-7 and lost on a tiebreaker,
Now, G's been consistent on this, but
No, he
last
wants
week,
him fired.
Last week, you agreed with me that, 10-7 lose on a tiebreaker.
I think if he goes 10-7 and loses on a tiebreaker, he's probably going to keep his job, and people are going to be pissed. And I get it, but there's really no excuse. I get that the AFC is loaded. I get that the North is loaded, but so are the Browns.
Yeah.
Now they're less proven than some of the other teams, but not all.
Yeah.
Outside of the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Bills, the other teams that are competing with the Browns, they have as much to prove as the Browns do.
This is a cop-out, but I need to see it because if they lose another game like they lost to the Jets last year, he's probably getting fired. Like if you lose
100%.
games because you completely unravel in the last minute and a half, he's probably gone.
Yeah.
But if you have a ton of injuries and you lose on a tiebreaker, there's just too much gray area to sit here and say definitively yes or no.
I can't say it definitively personally.
He can.
But I think there's a 95% chance he's fired if they don't make the playoffs.
I can't keep seeing the Jaguars be good and be terrible and be good again. An expansion team.
Yeah.
This is an expansion team.
And they play in a crappy division.
I don't care.
You don't
It's
care.
an expansion
Fine.
team.
You don't care.
They've been around for 30 years.
And they've been better than you for 30. You're an expansion team. How do you keep letting an expansion team be bad and then turn good, get Blake Bortles, go to the championship, then get bad again?
They went to the AFC Championship with Blake Bortles.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Think about that. And we're just sitting here and talking about 10-7 again.
Yeah, let's go.
No, we can't do it.
Make the playoffs. I don't want to hear anything else. They'll be the key. Browns fans are good at making excuses for their team, but there's none this year. Go ahead, Mike.
Now, hold on. If Deshaun Watson gets hurt,
Well, that's a different story.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if Deshaun Watson get hurt in 6 games,
That's a different story.
then I gotta
There's a couple of
fall back.
crazy circumstances. All right, go ahead, Mike. Let's bring in Ted.